Alice. Hello my friends. Today I will do my English project. I will read a beautiful story for you. Before that, please sit down and relax and enjoy the story. The title of the story is Mufaro's Beautiful Daughters, an African tale by Jones Steptoe. A long time ago, in a certain place in Africa, a small village lay across the river and a half-day journey from a city where a great king lived. A man named Mufaro lived in this village with his two daughters, who were called Manyara and Nyasha. Everyone agreed that Manyara and Nyasha were very beautiful. Manyara was always in a bad temper. She teased her sister when their father's back was turned. And she had been heard to say, "Someday, Nyasha, I will be queen and you'll be a servant in my household." "If it should become past," Nyasha responded, "it will be pleased to serve you. But why you say such things? You are clever and strong and beautiful. Why are you so unhappy?" "Because everyone talks about how kind you are and they praise everything you do," Manyara replied. "I'm certain that fathers love you best, but when I am queen, everyone will know that your silly kindness is only your weakness." Nyasha was sad that Manyara felt this way, but she ignored her sister's words and went about to her chores. Nyasha kept a small plot of land on which she grew millets, sunflowers, yams, and vegetables. She always sang as she worked, and some said that it was her singing that made her crops more bountiful than anyone else's. One day, Nyasha noticed a small garden snake resting beneath a young vine. "Good day, little Nyoka," she called him. "You are welcome here. We'll keep away any creatures who might spoil my vegetables." She bent forward and gave a little snake a loving pat on the head, and then returned to her work. From that day on, Nyoka always at Nyasha's side when she tended her garden. It was said that she sang all the more sweetly when he was there. Mufaro knew nothing of how Manyara treated Nyasha. Nyasha was too considerate of her father's feelings to complain, and Manyara was always careful to behave herself when Mufaro was around. Early one morning, a messenger from the city arrived. The great king wanted a wife. "The most worthy and beautiful daughters in the land are invited to appear before the king, and he will choose one to become queen," the messenger proclaimed. Mufaro called Manyara and Nyasha to him. It would be a great honor to have one of you chosen," he said. "Prepare yourself to journey to the city. I will call together our friends to make a wedding party. We'll leave tomorrow and as the sun rises." "But my father," Manyara said sweetly, "it will be painful for either of us to leave you. Even to be a wife to your king, I know Nyasha would grieve to death if she were parted from you. I am strong. Send me to the city and let poor Nyasha be happy here with you." Mufaro's beamed with pride. The king has asked for the most worthy and the most beautiful. "No, Manyara, I cannot send you alone. Only a king can choose between two such worthy daughters. Both of you must go. That night, when everyone was asleep, Manyara stole quietly out of the village. She had never been in the forest at night before, and she was frightened. But her dream to be the first to appear before the king drove her on. In a hurry, she almost stumbled over a small boy, who suddenly appeared standing in the path. "Please," said the boy, "I am hungry. Will you give me some food?" "I have brought only enough for myself," Manyara replied. "But please," said the boy, "I am so very hungry." "Out of my way, boy. Tomorrow I will become your queen. How dare you stand in my path?" After traveling from what seemed to be great distance, Manyara came to a small clearing. There's a silhouetted against the moonlight was an old woman seated on a large stone. The old woman spoke. "I will give you some advice, Manyara. Soon after you pass a place where the two paths cross, you will see a grove of trees. They will laugh at you. You must not laugh and return. Later, you will meet a man with his head under his arm. You must be polite to him." "How do you know my name? How do you advise your future queen? Stand aside, you ugly old woman." Manyara scolded and then rushed on her way without looking back. Just as the old woman has foretold, Manyara had came to a grove of trees, and they did indeed to be laughed at her. "I must be calm," Manyara thought. "I will not be frightened." She looked up at the trees and laughed out loud. "Ha ha 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 ha! I laugh at you, trees!" She shouted and hurried on. It was not yet dawn when Manyara heard the sound of a rushing water. "The river must be up ahead," she thought. "The great city is just on the other side." But there's on the rise, she saw a man with his head tucked under his arm. Manyara ran past him without speaking. The queen acknowledged only thought who pleased to her. She said to herself, "I will be queen, I will be queen," she said. She chanted as she hurried toward the city. Nyasha woke at the first light of dawn, and she put on her finest garments. She thought of how her life might be changed forever beyond this day. "I much prefer to live here," she admitted to herself. "I hate to leave this village and never see my fathers or sing to little Nuke again." Her thought was interrupted by loud shouts and commotion from the wedding party assembled outside. Manyara was missing. Everyone bustled about, and searching and calling for her. When they found out her footprints on the path that led to the city, they decided to go on as planned. As the wedding party moved through the forest, brightly plumed birds darted about in the cool green shadows beneath the trees. Though anxious about her sister, Nyasha was soon filled with an excitement about all there was to see. They were deep In the forest, when she saw the small boy standing by the side of the path. "You must be hungry," she said, and handed him a yam she brought for her lunch. The boy smiled and disappeared as quiet as he come. Later, as they were approaching to the place where Trumpet crossed, the old woman appeared and silently pointed the way to the city. Nyasha thanked her and gave her a small pouch filled with sunflower seeds. The sun was high in the sky when the party came to a grove of towering trees. Their uppermost branches seemed to fall down to Nyasha, and she passed beneath them. At last, someone announced that they were near to the destination. Nyasha ran and chopped rice before the others could catch up with her. She stood transfixed at her first sight of the city. "Oh, my father," she called. "A great spirit must stand guard here. Just look at the world lies before us. I never seen all of my life there could be anything so beautiful." Arm in arm, Nyasha and her father descended the hill across the river and approached the city gates. Just as they entered the great doors, the air was ripped by piercing cries, and Manyara ran quietly out of the chamber at the center of the enclosure. When she saw Nyasha, she fell upon her sobbing. "Do not go to the king, my sister. Oh, please, father, don't let her go," she cried hysterically. "There's a great monster in there, a snake with 5 heads. He said that he knew all my fault and I displeased him. He would have swallowed me alive if I had not run. Oh, my sister, please don't go inside that place." It frightened Nyasha to see her sister so upset, but leaving her father comfort Manyara, she bravely made her way to the chamber and opened the door. On the seat of the great chief's stool lay the little garden snake. Nyasha laughed with relief and joy. "My little friend," he exclaimed. "It's such a pleasure to see you, but why are you here?" "I am the king," Nyoka replied, and there's before Nyasha's eyes the garden snake changed shape. "I am the king, and I am also the hungry boy who shared the yam at the forest, and the old woman who made a gift sunflower seed. But you know me the best as Nyoka, because I have been all of these. I know you to be the most worthy and the most beautiful daughters in the land. It would make me very happy if you to be my wife." And so it was that a long time ago, Nyasha agreed to be married. The king's mothers and sisters took Nyasha to their house, and the wedding preparation began. The best weavers in the land laid out their finest clothes for her wedding garments. Villagers from all around were invited to the celebration. A great feast was held. Nyasha prepared the bread for the wedding feast from millets that had been brought from her village. Mufaro proclaimed to all who would hear him that he was the happiest father in all the land, For he was the blessed with two beautiful daughters and worthy daughters, Nyasha the queen, and Manyara, a servant in the queen household. The end. The king chose Nyara because Nyara is kind, smart, polite, and she so giving. You see what she did in the forest. The king and Nyasha were going to have a beautiful life together. And you see who ended up being the servant in the queen household? It was Manyara. Manyara, after all, had to serve her sister. See, good things do not happen to those who are mean and treat other people unkind. So remember to treat others how you like to be treated. I hope you enjoyed the story and can make Nyasha as our example. Thank you for listening. Bye!